Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 5th February 2024. My name is TSV Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual walk on YouTube. Hardan, 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 Haribol, TSV Nectar, NECTAR, nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been trying to study, discuss, and analyze in detail all the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video in this blog is no exception to that rule. In fact, it is a mere continuation of all that we have been trying to do in all my previous videos. Kindly subscribe to this vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of all my previous, present, and future videos. So let us continue with the topic of discussion for today's video. In the past few videos, we have been trying to discuss about one Mr. Joseph Valachi, who was born on 22nd September 1902 in New York in United States of America and who chose inadvertently or advertently, deliberately or otherwise, by default or by design, knowingly or unknowingly, his own life to be devoted earnestly to the 20% dark negative forces of the New York underworld in United States of America. How this happened, we shall discuss in detail in this particular video. We all know by now that though his family hailed from the province of Naples in southern Europe's Italy. This guy was born as a third generation American in the United States of America in New York. In other words, for all practical purposes, this guy's direct connection to the province of Naples and Italy was lost. This guy's prarabdha karma wanted him to be born as one of the offsprings of a mere pushcart driver in the New York vegetables and fruits market where this man slogged day and night to make both ends meet for him and for his own family. With this background as his childhood, Valachi or Joseph Valachi had to go through quite a tough time. According to him, his elder brother was insane and his sisters had got married off at a very young age. He only had one younger brother. Not only this, because of the circumstances existing in the family, he was forced to work with his own father in driving that pushcart through the streets of the Italian township of New York at that time. Because life was so hard, which was the result of the foundation laid by his prarabdha karma. This guy had to resort to all illegal activities at a very young age. Even before reaching teen age, he became an expert thief and had joined a gang of never do wells like him. The gang he joined was called the 5 Points Gang. Nevertheless, because of his mischief and notoriety, he was once arrested and hauled to the court. Thanks to the sane or unsane advice of those who were already as wise and intelligent as he was, this guy behaved in such a way in front of the judge that the judge did not send him to the juvenile delinquency school. Had he been sent to that place, despite that place being very tough, probably Joseph Valachi could have got some education. However, because of his over maturity and precociousness, the judge decided to put him into a regular prison, meant for majors. This was a Himalayan blunder as far as Joseph Valachi went. He was very young, otherwise gullible and vulnerable, and now he was face to face with more hardened underworld figures. As a result of this, sooner or later, more sooner than later, he became an underling of several wise guys in the prison who went around strutting with confidence, showing that they knew what the underworld was. One of such guys was a fast rising fellow Neapolitan called Vito Genovese. However, because of his other friends, when Joseph Valachi was finally released from his stint in the prison, he was welcomed to another gang headed by one decent gangster called Salvatore Maranzano, who was quite educated and who hailed from the province of Castellamare del Golfo in the island of Sicily. This Salvatore Maranzano was at war with a rival gangster called Joseph Joe the Boss Masseria. The war between the two stalwarts was known as the Castellamare del Golfo War or Castellamare War. Now, murders, attacks, maimings, stabbings, etc. were a regular feature during this time when both gangs started hitting at each other. As a result of this, both gangs needed extra gunpowder or firepower plus muscle. That was precisely the reason that, though it was initially unplanned, this same Joseph Valachi was offered a membership in the Castellamare del Golfo gang led by Salvatore Maranzano. Joseph Valachi was very proud to become a member of the Salvatore Maranzano gang. Immediately he got knee deep into the existing gang war in the New York underworld between Salvatore Maranzano and Joseph Joe the Boss Masseria. Joseph Valachi would regret his jubilant nature later when he got old. Nevertheless, here he was, fighting alongside such mobsters as Joseph Bonanno, Salvatore Maranzano, Joseph Profaci, Tom Gagliano, Thomas Three Finger Brown Lucchese, Vincent Mangano, and the awesome Mad Hatter called Albert Anastasia. Now, the gang war between the two stalwarts heated up to such an extent that a time came when nobody knew who was loyal to which boss. There were several terms, agreements, and conspiracies that became rife among the younger gangsters in the two major gangs. However, Joseph Valachi remained loyal to Salvatore Maranzano. But this did not stop him in becoming a driver to Gaetano Tom Reina, the underboss of Joseph Joe the Boss Masseria. Salvatore Maranzano knew this, but he did not mind just because he could understand that this Joseph Valachi was too small a fish in the gang war, and besides, he also wanted to eat and earn. However, this led to Joseph Valachi falling in love with the same Gaetano Tom Reina's daughter, who he ultimately married and remained loyal to all his life. Now we will take a detour. We were talking about Prarabdha Karma. Let us talk about Joseph Valachi's Prarabdha Karma. I had already mentioned that this guy was born on 22nd September 1902. Those who are born in any month on 4th, 13th, 22nd, and 31st are born in those dates only to work out a huge backlog of their own past Sanchit Krama in this lifetime. In other words, these people choose a slice from their own Sanchit Karma to be used as their Prarabdha Karma and to be used as a foundation for their future life in this particular lifetime. Joseph Valachi was a 4 number. That shows that he was no exception to the rule, that he had a huge backlog of past karma which he had chosen to work out in this particular lifetime. However, alas, that backlog of karma could have been excellent, very good, good, fair, average, not so good, bad, worse, or worst. In the case of Joseph Velachi, this backlog of past karma was more dark and negative than positive or indifferent. This was precisely the reason why his own prarabdha karma got activated at least 9 months before he was born. And that is precisely the reason that he found himself in the womb of his own mother, who was married to that poor pushcart driver with several children. On the other hand, if that prarabdha karma had been average, fair, good, very good, or excellent, probably the same Joseph Volachi's prarabdha karma could have guided him to a better womb. Nevertheless, this guy was forced to be born in this family in New York, though he initially hailed from the province of Naples in southern Europe, the country of Italy. Now, because of this background, hunger, desperation, and frustration drove this Joseph Valachi towards the dark, negative forces of this society. We had already discussed about how some individual living entities, both male and female, have to be forcibly gravitated towards the dark negative forces without their own knowledge, connivance, or their own agreement. It is the prarabdha karma which forces them into such a birth or gravitation towards the dark negative forces. Joseph Balati was no exception to this rule. Now, if his prarabdha karma of backlog of unworked karma had been quite powerful, good, fair, average, or not so bad. Probably, instead of becoming a regular member of the underworld, probably this guy could have remained in the fringe of the same underworld like many others do. Those who are in the fringe of the underworld invariably belong to two categories. Their prarabdha karma forces them to be attracted to the dark negative forces despite they being acclimatized to the 75% vegetative category of multitude in this society. Or in the case of another category, their own kriyamana karma, born out of free will, forces them to be attracted to the dark negative forces of this material world. Nevertheless, as we are talking about the case history of Joseph Velati, it is quite evident that this guy was not fortunate either way. His own prarabdha karma was such that he was automatically qualified to become a genuine member of the underworld of New York of that period. However, alas, though this guy had qualified for such a status, he lacked the foresight, cunning, remorselessness, cutthroat, competitive attitude, sadism, cruelty, violence, and vindictiveness of other more qualified underworld figures like Vito Genovese, Lucky Luciano, Joseph Profati, Salvatore Maranzano, and Joseph Joe de Boss Masseria. In fact, he was not even a match to his own father-in-law, Gaetano Tom Reina. Nevertheless, this guy initially was happy doing the bidding of other mobsters, mainly Vito Genovese. We have already talked about how unscrupulous and cutthroatly cruel Vito Genovese was. This guy had no compunction in exploiting the gullibility and vulnerability of such mobsters as Joseph Velati. During this gang war, due to his own prarabdha karma, Joseph Velati was forced to use his own free will and kriyamana karma to commit several violent acts, including murders of genuine underworld figures. Yes, one can accept that Joseph Valachi never killed an innocent man. This is all I wanted to talk in this particular video about the case history of Joseph Valachi. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular subject. Please give me your own expert views, thoughts, ideas, and opinions so that I may blend everything together for the sake of this society. Before concluding, let me remind you that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.